All the talk about Genesis can feel like a knot you'll never untangle. Let me show you what finally helped me loosen it. Before we go any further, let me tell you why Genesis matters so much. Most Christians don't feel the need to dig into it, but whether we realize it or not, Genesis shapes everything. If we are unsure about the creation account, that uncertainty bleeds into the rest of the Bible. And Genesis 1 doesn't just tell us how God created, it tells us why humanity exists. It introduces the central theme of the entire Bible, the kingdom of God. Jesus talked more about the kingdom than anything else. So if we're confused about Genesis, we're confused about our purpose. We don't wake up thinking, I was created to partner with God in this world. We wake up thinking about our plans and schedules, hoping Jesus comes back before things get too hard. But Genesis calls us to something bigger. There are people who believe the earth is young, others believe it's old, and then there are those who allegorize the story. And a lot of the discussion ends up circling around evolution. I was caught in the middle of all this for years. Let me tell you one of the most important things I've learned. Beware of biases. You might have seen people use science to try to falsify the creation account, and then heard young earth creationists passionately defend their interpretation. I've learned to listen to everyone, but with caution. To build confidence in the creation account, it helps to have an understanding that actually speaks to your questions. What I've tried to do is listen to Genesis without all the external noise. And when I did that, my eyes were open to something special. I want to share what I've learned with you, but I do so with great trepidation because I know how deeply rooted these beliefs are. My journey started when I decided to wipe the slate clean and read Genesis afresh. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. One thing I always wondered was this: if the earth is only about 6,000 years old, how could the stars be hundreds of thousands or millions of light years away? One day while reading on the Answers of Genesis website, something shifted for me. The article explained that the argument God created the universe with the appearance of age doesn't really solve the problem, especially when it comes to Starlight. They and others have proposed various ideas, but for me, they are not convincing. You should see for yourself. Let me do my best to explain this. God could have created the universe with fully formed stars and planets in an instant, but the question of starlight would still remain. If a star is 100,000 light years away when God created it, it would take 100,000 years for its first light to reach the earth. So if the universe was only 6,000 years old, we would still be waiting to see that star's light. Let me put it another way. Light tells a story. Everything we see is a story told by light, and everything we hear is a story told by sound. Both stories need to be true, or we are seeing or hearing a lie. So when we observe the sun's activity, it actually happened about 8 minutes ago. That's how long it takes light from the sun to reach the earth. So we have to ask ourselves, did that solar flare really happen 8 minutes ago? And when we look at a star 100,000 light years away, did what we were seeing really happen that long ago? In my mind, there's just no getting around this. I haven't found any honest way to explain it away. I realized I had to face what the evidence seemed to indicate, or I wouldn't be fully honest about how God made the world. Now, I know from my own experience that there are all kinds of emotions around what I just said. I understand that. But don't let emotions completely run over your logic. I had to untangle this knot one string at a time, and I'm asking you to stick with me because an open mind is a wonderful thing. Here's the key. It didn't make me give up on Genesis. It made me step back and ask, maybe the problem isn't Genesis itself. Maybe it's how I've been taught to read it. That's where confidence started to grow again. Hey, thank you for listening. If you want to keep growing, questioning, and understanding the Bible together, consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.